The new finance minister for Ontario is Vic Fedeli. Brian, certainly no stranger to us, no stranger to Ontario politics. Re-elected, so not a rookie, from the riding of Nipissing, the largest urban center. People, if you don't know Nipissing, think North Bay and the area around North Bay. Vic Fedeli was a successful businessman in the community.
And very proud of where he's from as well. So that's definitely someone who will regularly remind folks of that and the fact that it's an important part of Ontario.
Was the mayor of North Bay,
Mm-hmm.
has been MPP for Nipissing. Importantly, when all that happened in January with Patrick Brown and his leadership, I think Fedeli, it certainly looked like he might throw his hat into the ring. Indications were that he would. He subsequently decided to be the interim leader of the party and, as he put it, clean up the rot. I'm not making any of that up. And did a lot of work while the PC leadership process went on. So by taking on the role of interim leader, he essentially surrendered any aspirations of becoming the elected or permanent leader. Certainly in opposition, prior to becoming the interim leader, was a dogged critic of the Ontario Liberals, was the finance critic.
And certainly very well versed in provincial finances. So some folks watching this might have been on his newsletter emailing list, where on a fairly regular basis there were the Fedeli's financial news, and was going into very explicit and detailed accounts of the provincial finances. So certainly someone who, again, comes to this role, which is a critical role within this cabinet, with a desire for the role, but also an expertise within the role as well.
I agree. I don't think there's anyone in that caucus who would have had a shorter learning curve to get into the province's numbers than Vic Fedeli, because he was pretty detailed. I mean, I saw times when he would quote chapter and verse back to people in the government. Mm-hmm. And so actually on page 76, right in the second last paragraph, this is what you said. People would be kind of fumbling. So he was pretty dogged, pretty good. I think that before too long, and by the way, the legislature is going to resume in July, which is unusual for a short session.
Well, next week. Yeah. I think it's the 10th, they had said, for the speaker to be elected, and then the 11th for the speech from the throne. So
I think we'll before too long hear Vic Fedeli tell us that the $6.7 billion deficit number was not accurate. This is not because it's Vic Fedeli. This is because it's a new government, and this is what new governments do. And that, in fact, the real deficit number is something much higher than that, and that a lot of work needs to be done. So Fedeli will be busy. I think we can certainly expect the Liberals will be up for some pretty severe criticism from him as he dives into it. But look, we have a new government that pledged to find deficiencies, that there are tax cuts coming, there are new expenditures coming. It's a big job, and
absolutely.
If he manages to do everything that his party campaigned on, and keeping in mind it's a 4-year plan, so not everything that the PC party put out during the election is expected to be implemented in year 1. That's not realistic. It's a 4-year plan, but even given him 4 years, it's a tall order.
I mean, it'll be a tall order for anyone.
He's got a big job ahead of him, but we wish him good luck.